All right, episode 3, Stop the Nonsense. Mike is up in Massachusetts as usual. I am here in bitter cold New Jersey,
Dirty Jers.
the dirty Jers, the brick city, as they say. And it is brick outside, let me tell you. Um, we are now less than a week away from Super Bowl Sunday. I personally think that it should be a national holiday.
The day
I
after.
also think Super Bowl Monday, you think should
Yes.
be a national holiday? That
Yes.
would make sense. Kids off from school, don't go to work.
I wish.
I'm for it. I'm all for it. But unfortunately, we don't have that. We don't have that. I don't know why. Maybe that's why the government was really shut down.
Could be.
But we're gonna start off with the Super Bowl. It's gonna be interesting. I got the line at Pats -2.5. I don't know if you saw any of the lines out there.
I haven't. I'll do some research though. You keep going.
All right, I saw it on DraftKings last night, and that's how I made my pick. I based it on the Pats getting giving 2.5.
Hmm.
But we got some interesting storylines. McVay is 33. Belichick is 67. One of them will be making history. One will be either the youngest head coach to win a Super Bowl or the oldest head coach to win a Super Bowl. That's pretty cool. Tom Brady says there is zero chance that he retires after this game.
That's not a shock.
I don't think that shocks
No.
anybody.
He'll be around till he's 50.
He will be around. You know what? It wouldn't shock me at this point. He said 45 a couple years ago, and I think when he said it, we were all kind of like, really? 45? Like, he's 41, and he's still going. So, I don't doubt him at this point. Let's start. What we're going to do is we'll give our takes on what each team needs to do. We'll give our little matchups. I wrote down 4 key players for each team, and I will give my reasons behind that. Then I will make my pick. Then we'll send it to you. You'll give us your feelings. You'll make your pick, and we'll go from there. I also wrote it out down an MVP pick. I don't know about you.
I mean, I'll figure it out.
All right. Let me start with the Rams. On defense, I believe the Rams won out, and they made a lot of noise in this offseason when they made the trades for Aqib Talib and Marcus Peters. I still can't believe that Kansas City traded Marcus Peters, but his attitude, I think it was more his attitude than his talent.
Hmm.
But this is the game where you need to play man-to-man. Have those guys man up on the outside, and then use your linebackers to clog up the middle of the field. You got to slow down the Patriots' screen game, and you got to create pressure on Brady up the middle. You put pressure in his face. That is historically how you have beaten him. He's gotten better and better each year at moving in the pocket and throwing from, not really on the spot he wants to be. He slides around. He's got great pocket presence. So you have to get to him up the middle. He's not one of these athletes who's going to spin away from pressure up the middle and get to the outside. Never has been. Maybe he will be. As I said, I don't doubt him anymore. Maybe he will all of a sudden somehow find a way to become this freakish athlete that will now run away from interior defensive linemen. But he's dealing with 2 of the best in the game this week. And my key players for the Rams, Aaron Donald, Ndamukong Suh, Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib. Notice they're all on defense. I don't really worry about the Rams offense because I think Sean McVay is one of those offensive minds where he's going to make it work no matter what he's got. And he's got plenty of talent over there. We'll get to that. But you got to create that interior pressure with Donald and Suh. And Talib and Marcus Peters have to play their best game of the year, especially Marcus Peters. Marcus Peters, I thought he was better last week than he had been leading up to that game. When Talib was out this year, the Rams' defense was completely different. It just wasn't. It just didn't look the same. They weren't nearly as effective at doing what they wanted to do. So, I'm expecting for the Patriots to have a similar game plan against the Rams that they did in KC. Jared Goff, breaking news, isn't Patrick Mahomes. They're going to want to make him throw the ball downfield because there's been games where Goff has made these throws, and then he has these games where he's inaccurate, and he doesn't make the big-time throws. And if you're going to if I would look for the Patriots to force his hand. I think they're going to key on Todd Gurley, who I still wonder. I think he's hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, he barely played in the NFC Championship. According to him, he just said, "No, I'm not hurt. I was just sorry in this game. I got to be better than that." But if you're a Rams fan, you want to see Todd Gurley and not C.J. Anderson in this game, I would imagine. So look for McVay to get Gurley involved. They're going to need him. For the Patriots offense, I think James White could end up having a field day. Alvin Kamara was incredibly effective out of the backfield against this Rams defense. And if the Rams can't contain that, if they can't get the pressure to Brady quick enough, if they can't have a linebacker out there shadowing James White on those dump-offs, they're going to be in a lot of trouble because that's what the Patriots want to do. And I really believe that the Patriots are going to come out and they're going to want to do exactly what they did against Kansas City early, and that's have these long, sustained drives, keep the ball, dominate time of possession. They love to run the ball. They are a running team. For their key players, I wrote down Gronk, Dante Hightower, and then their guards, Thuney and Mason. Their interior offensive line has been phenomenal this year. That's why they've been so great at running the ball. They're able to set up the play action, and once that play action is there after you've established the run, Brady has a clean pocket to throw from, and that's when he starts hitting Edelman over the middle for 15, 20 yards down the field. The reason I wrote down Dante Hightower was I think that with McVay, I think he's going to try to get Gurley involved. This all hinges on if Gurley's healthy or not, but I expect him to have Gurley heavily involved if he's there. They've leaned on him all year. He was an MVP candidate. You would expect them to lean on him in this game, mainly because you've got a quarterback playing in his first Super Bowl, which doesn't mean that he can't play well. I mean, Aaron Rodgers had one of the best games in a Super Bowl that I've ever seen in his first Super Bowl, and his only Super Bowl. And he was in his third year as a starter. This is Goff's third year as a starter. So it's possible. But wouldn't you want to take pressure off your young quarterback? That's what McVay has done since he's gotten here. So I would expect Gurley to be heavily involved. Goff got off to a slow start in New Orleans, and he can't do that in this game. You give the Patriots an early lead, it's over. They'll run the clock out. If they get up 2 possessions, I think it could get ugly. I could see the Patriots blowing out the Rams. I don't see it the other way around. I just can't see the Rams blowing out the Patriots because the last time we saw the Patriots getting blown out, they came back and won the Super Bowl in overtime. They were losing 28-3, and they won 34-28, which was my prediction before the game. I don't know. I'll never be able to do that again.
No, should have played Lotto next to.
I should have. But so it comes down in a vacuum. Sue and Donald, if they impact the game, it's going to be close throughout. If they're able to have the impact that they had against Drew Brees, it'll be close throughout. I think that James White tied the record for receptions by a running back last week with 15.
Yes.
He had 14 in that Super Bowl that I just mentioned against the Falcons. Against the Rams defense, he could have more if they have their way. That, like I said, Kamara was probably the most effective player on the Saints offense last week. Don't know why they didn't feature him more. I feel like Sean Payton got too cute with the play calling in that game, which is odd because he kept throwing Taysom Hill in. He wanted to throw the ball on first down. I don't know.
Yeah, his play calling was iffy.
It was weird because I don't usually see that from him. I mean, you see that from other coaches, guys who are more inexperienced. But this is a guy who's won a Super Bowl. This is a guy who is highly regarded as one of the best offensive minds in the game, and who I think is the best offensive mind in the game.
He's pretty good.
But I felt That's why I just don't put as much emphasis on that pass interference, because I felt like they had many opportunities and they let it go.
Yeah.
But I'm straying away from here. Can the Rams win this game? Yes, they can. I think there is an avenue. I think there is a way that they could slow down the Patriots. And their offense is as good as any in the league. I don't think they will. I've got the Patriots winning this 27-24, covering the 2.5. And my Super Bowl MVP is Sony Michel. Yeah, I know I waxed poetic about James White, but Sony Michel has been just as effective with that running game. He's
been overlooked in the playoffs.
He has.
He's been phenomenal in the championship game and the divisional round.
I still can't believe he fell as far as he did in the draft.
It's crazy.
And it just fell right in Belichick's lap, and he was like, "Thank you very much.
Yeah, we'll take him.
I will now turn this guy into, a solid starting NFL running back." Real quick, the Rams are doing a lot of talking. I've seen Nickel Roby Coleman, he of the non-call, says that Brady definitely isn't the same quarterback he was. Age has taken a toll. You ever go down to the aquarium and poke Shamu in the eye with a stick?
Can't say I have.
Well, that's what Nickel Roby Coleman is doing. Why taunt Tom Brady before the Super Bowl, which he's played in 8 times, and you're now playing in, I believe, for the first time, Mr. Roby Coleman? Doesn't make much sense to me. Patrick Chung was talking, Brandon Cooks. I like that, the back and forth, especially because those guys are former teammates. Cooks, of course, beat his former team last week and has a chance to beat his former team this week. I'm happy for him.
You know who was a former teammate that's not saying anything?
Oh.
Aqib Talib.
Well, he knows.
Yeah. He knows not to poke the bear.
There. Yeah, he's been there.
Yeah.
He knows what they're about. He knows how disciplined they are. And I'm sure he's being vocal in that locker room.
Yeah. He's probably like, "Hey, Coleman, shut your mouth.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Before I snatch your chain."
I was going to bring that up. Oh, man. But, yep, so I've got the Patriots winning yet another Super Bowl. I've got Bill and Brady winning number 6, tying Michael Jordan with 6 rings. I can't wait. I think this is going to be a good game.
I hope it's a good game.
Also, Greg Zorloin apparently was dealing with a foot injury. Which he did not tell the Rams about.
Is that coming after the championship game or just
No, he was dealing with it during. From what I
Even more impressive that he drilled that kick.
Yeah, and apparently he didn't tell them because he felt like that he could just deal with it. And who knows, maybe if they knew he was dealing with an injury, they don't kick it from 57, but maybe something to keep an eye on. Maybe if that gets worse as time goes on or gets better. We'll see. We'll see how they play it. All right. The floor is yours.
All right. So, for the Rams, obviously, I think the main part for the Rams is Todd Gurley has to get going. I mean,
we're both in agreement on that.
Yeah, it's just if Todd Gurley is hurt or he's just sorry for his play, I mean, this Sunday is not the time for that.
Certainly not the time to be sorry.
I basically think the Rams' chances of winning the Super Bowl rest on Todd Gurley's shoulders. Because if he's not 100%, that offense is going to stall out, and Jared Goff is just going to have to play the best game of his life, maybe even his career, to help the Rams even win that game.
I don't think the Rams can win if it comes down to Goff throwing the football.
If it's Goff versus Brady.
Yeah, I think I know where I'm going there.
100 times out of 100.
And I like Jared Goff, but I just don't think he's not that guy.
No.
But I didn't think Nick Foles was that guy either. So
that's fair. I don't know, but yeah, I think that's the main thing. Todd Gurley has to get going in this game. I mean, the 4 carries for 10 yards in the championship game. You can't do that against the Patriots and expect to win the game. But I also think a big player in this game is going to be Brandon Cooks. If he can make big-time plays like he's been known to make in the past, like when he was on the Saints and whatnot. I think that's going to help Jared Goff a lot too, knowing he has a threat like Brandon Cooks on the side. But I don't know.
What in the world was that?
It could have been the dog barking that lives in the apartment above me.
Oh, that was a dog?
Yeah, I hope it. Literally hope that dog passes out and dies. It's the worst.
R.I.P. Pooch.
Yeah, yeah. So now I gotta deal with that. But that's great. Defensively for the Rams, I agree with you with Ndamukong Suh and Aaron Donald. If they can pressure Brady and force him to get rid of the ball quicker and not give him all day in the pocket, I think that's going to help the Rams defensively. Like, it's going to help them like crazy. It's going to be huge for them. Because we all know Brady under pressure does not perform as well as Brady having 15 seconds in the pocket. Because if you give Brady all that time, he's going to pick you apart limb from limb and just have his way with you down the field.
That's why I really think the linebackers are important as well for I almost said St. Louis, Los Angeles, because if you're able to take those linebackers and again shadow a James White or a Sonny Michel out of the backfield, and while getting that pressure up the middle, and Brady doesn't have those quick dump offs, that's where that game is won if you're the Rams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, if you look back at the Chargers game against the Patriots, everybody thought Joey Bosa and Ingram were going to play such a huge role defensively for the Chargers, and the Patriots line just shut them down. They didn't even sniff Brady the whole entire game. So if the Patriots line can mirror that performance against Sue and Donald, it's going to be a long, long night for the Rams defense.
It certainly can be.
So I mean, that's the main things I think for the Patriots. For the Rams, talking like an idiot, but yeah, I mean, Gurley has to get going. You need a threat like Cooks to make plays when you need them. I don't think Robert Woods is that guy. I think Robert Woods is very overrated.
I hate Robert Woods.
Yes.
PSA: Jonathan Picciarello does not like Robert Woods, even a little bit.
No.
And I can't really tell you why. Probably because I had Brandon Cooks on my fantasy team, and every time Robert Woods got the ball, I was annoyed.
Yeah. I understand that.
Get Robert Woods the hell off my lawn is what I'm saying. I'm not a fan.
I think, and you know what? I think if Cooper Kupp was healthy,
I might pick the Rams.
Yes. I think the loss of Cooper Kupp was a huge blow to this offense.
They slowed down.
Big
after
time.
he went down.
Big
That
time.
was Goff's security blanket.
Yeah.
He was the guy he was looking for in those situations where things broke down. Cooper Kupp knew where to be, and he was a big player out of the slot for the I almost said St. Louis again, Los Angeles Rams.
Which leads me to the Patriots. And I think, like you said, James White is going to have a monster game. Because time and time again, he's just old reliable for Brady.
I thought he should have won the MVP of Super Bowl 51.
Yes.
But
without a doubt. He just knows where to be every play. He can always make the big third down plays for them. He's their security blanket, basically.
it's not Gronk anymore, I'll tell you that much.
No, because we all know Gronk, his injuries. Still a maniac at Media Day. I don't know if you saw any of it.
I saw that he was like invited to parties and stuff.
Yeah, he wanted to go to a frat party, but he couldn't go out because of curfew. And then they told him about a day party today, and he was like, "I might be there for that." big fan of Gronk. Definitely would like to have a beer with him.
He's like the everyman. He's just like
He's
a
awesome.
because even though he's athletically he's like a freak. He's one of those like freaks of nature.
Mm-hmm.
As far as intellect, and he's a lot smarter than people realize. You know, he hasn't spent a cent of his game checks.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Yeah, he's lived off his endorsements, so his game checks are just ready for the day he retires. He'll be fine.
Oh, yeah, he's set.
But he kind of just comes off as, I want to hang out with that guy. I could get along with that guy, and you don't always feel that way with athletes.
I would 100% shotgun beers with him on the weekend.
He would. He would. I think he'd be down.
Yeah, he might kill me if I went out drinking with him, but it'd be great. That's the way I want to go out for sure.
Royal Rumble almost killed you.
Oh God,
We're not
what a
going to get into
disaster.
that.
No, it's not the time or place.
No.
But yeah, I mean, so James White, I think, is going to be a huge part of the Patriots' offense Sunday. I think Gronk's going to leave it all out on the field Sunday. Also, I think this could be his last hurrah.
I was thinking that. And you know, if in his mind this is his last game, then the Rams are in for a long day because
Yes.
he just strikes me as the kind of guy that's like, I will die on this field
Mhm.
if I have to. And I just that's kind of why I have so much respect for him, where he is a party guy, he likes to have fun, but he's all about the team first. Like, I mean, even in that interview, he said, "Oh, I can't make the night party because I have curfew."
Yeah,
Like I
he abides by
remember,
the rules.
yeah, I remember a couple of years ago too. There was another interview where some group wanted him to come down and party with them, and he said that sounds great, but you know we got some work to do, and after the season we can make that happen. Like he's all about, he knows what his job is, and
Hmm.
he follows the Bill Belichick do your job. That's what he's
Yes,
there for,
he does. And even in the season when he's not making plays, like he's not catching the ball or anything like that, he's just laying blocks on people
dude.
and just demolishing them.
Okay, if he wanted to, I don't know if he'd want to put his body through it, but if he wanted to, I think he could actually transition and be a starting left tackle
He
and
probably could be.
play another 5 years, 4 or 5 years, whatever.
Yeah.
If he can't be the tight end anymore, because he's a great blocker. He's not Jimmy Graham out there who doesn't know how to block anybody.
No,
He is a great blocker.
he really is a great blocker. He's fun to watch. He's always fun to watch. I love Gronk.
When I still think he's the best tight end ever. I know the statistics won't be there,
No.
especially if this is his last game. But as far as at the height of when he played, you know, was playing at his highest level, and every other tight end in the history of the game was playing at their highest level, his best was better than everyone else's best, if you ask me.
I definitely agree to that. He's been so entertaining to watch over the years.
He a matchup nightmare who was the Terminator after the catch. Just good luck.
Yeah, but so those are two guys on offense that I think the Patriots are really gonna be looking at. So I think the Brady Gronk connection is gonna be strong Sunday. James White's just gonna be all over the place as usual. And defensively, I don't know. I was seeing rumors Devin McCourty might call it quits after the Super Bowl if they win, which is kind of interesting to me.
Wasn't one of the McCourty twins talking some garbage?
They could be. Everybody talks garbage. I don't
They
know.
do.
I don't really pay attention.
I don't think it really matters once the game starts.
No. If anything, it's just to build up a storyline for the most part. Get people talking about the game. That's what I think.
The longest pregame show in the history of the world.
Yes. 5 more days. But yeah, I mean, Brady's going to be Brady in this game. Yeah, so I honestly think that the Patriots are just going to shit all over the Rams. I don't even think it's going to be close.
Really?
Yeah. I just have a feeling. I think Belichick's just going to throw everything he possibly can at Goff and just have him so flustered from the minute the game starts till the second the game ends.
We're going to learn a lot about Jared Goff on Sunday.
Yes.
Because I don't doubt that, first of all, we all know Bill loves to confuse quarterbacks, and he always has something up his sleeve that throws the offense off. But if Jared Goff stays calm under these circumstances, is able to, even if he does start slow, I wrote that he can't, and I said that, but if he does and then maneuvers his way out of it, and doesn't even have to win, but he keeps the Rams in the game and they end up losing by, you know, less than one possession or whatever, that would tell me a lot about Jared Goff and moving forward the kind of career he's going to have.
Yeah. Yeah. But, I mean, I'm definitely taking the Patriots, given the 2.5. Because, like I said, I think it's going to be, I just think they're just going to roll right through the Rams. I've been thinking it ever since the game got announced. I'm like, As much as I like McVay, I like Jared Goff, I like Gurley. It's just I don't know. I just see
It's
the I just see the Patriots coasting the Super Bowl #6 with Brady and Belichick.
they've won 5. They haven't coasted in a Super Bowl yet.
Yeah,
Their Super Bowls are always close. So maybe this is that game where they break out and it's one of those wire to wire. They win by 3 possessions. I hope that's not the case. I want an entertaining game.
I do too.
I want something that's compelling. If the Rams win, would this be a passing of the torch, so to speak? Not that Belichick's going anywhere, but that McVay kind of is one of the faces of the league at that point. If he then raises a Super Bowl Lombardi trophy in his second year as a head coach
I think it could somewhat be that
at 33 years old.
because I mean, winning a Super Bowl at 33 as a head coach is very impressive.
The fact that he's playing in one, or his
Yeah,
team is playing in one, that's insane in its own right.
it is. But
It's gonna be fun. I'm happy that it's getting closer, and this week is gonna fly by because I'm working the rest of the week. So Sunday's my next day off, so it'll be here before I know it. But I don't. I really don't want to blow out. I don't.
I don't
But
either, but that's
I
what
also
my gut's telling me.
I also don't disagree with you. Like I said, I could see the Patriots blowing out the Rams. I do
Yes.
not see the Rams blowing out the Patriots under any circumstances. If you're asking me what's not going to happen, that's what's not going to happen.
Yeah,
can-
there's no chance the Rams win this game by more than 6 points.
I would have to agree. I mean, it's the Patriots are just they've never had in a big spot just an awful game where you said, "Man, they didn't give themselves a chance." Like they're always there.
Hmm.
And I mean, I think the worst I've seen the Patriots look was probably the playoff game against the Jets that they lost, where
Yeah.
the Jets went to the AFC Championship and
Fucking
lost
Mark
to
Sanchez.
lost to Pittsburgh that year. I think that was the Packers Super Bowl year, I believe. But that's it. That's our Super Bowl picks. We both are going with the Patriots minus the 2.5. I'm picking them by a field goal. Mike's picking them by 7,000.
Yep, 7,001.
7,001. It's
No,
gonna
realistic score. I'll go 34-17.
34-17. That would be a blowout at that point.
Yeah, doesn't hit the over though. The over is 56.5 for this game, which is bananas.
That's a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got it at 51, so
Yeah.
no.
I'm definitely hammering the under on this game because I'm definitely betting on the Super Bowl.
I was thinking about it. I don't know. I haven't had much luck this postseason with my bets.
Yeah.
And it's been I should just go money line. I'm very good at picking winners, but I always go with the spread.
You get a better payout if you pick the spread, unless you're picking underdogs and money line.
Yeah.
That's usually what it is. So
I don't know. Maybe I'll just go with money line and take the less payout. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. One last note on the NFL. 8 million people watched the Pro Bowl.
Really?
8 million people are jackasses.
I
What are
can't
you
even tell you who
watching?
won the Pro Bowl.
What are you? I believe the AFC won, and it was like 26-7 or something like that. It's
What a
probably the wrong
nightmare.
score. Because over the last decade, I think I've watched a combined 40 seconds of the Pro Bowl because I accidentally turned it on. I was like, oh yeah, this is on. And then I shut it off immediately because I have no interest in watching that. Don't tell me you love football so much that you can't wait for the Pro Bowl. That's not football.
No, I don't even know what to call it.
You're not going to find someone who loves sports more than me. I watch tennis.
Yes.
I watch anything competitive. The Pro Bowl isn't competitive. It's stupid. Why? Get a life. It's a Sunday. Go out. Do something.
I don't even know what did I do Sunday. instead of watch the Pro Bowl. Oh, the
Oh,
Royal Rumble. I was watching the Royal
we
Rumble.
watched. We did watch the Royal Rumble. I played Mario Party with Diana. Beat her twice. She
I
wasn't
think I
happy.
watched the movie too. No, I was watching. I watched Seinfeld over the Pro Bowl, which is a great choice.
I would have done a swan dive off the back deck onto the concrete, and that is better than watching the Pro Bowl, in my opinion.
Yeah,
8 million people, and that's why it's not going anywhere, because you still watch it. Even if you put it on in the background, you're contributing to nothing.
they have to change it. They have to do something to make it more watchable.
Dude, Saquon Barkley and Mike Evans were playing defense.
Yeah, Mike Evans had a pick. I saw that on Twitter.
It's stupid.
Yeah, it's not fun.
8 million people decided to watch it. I don't understand. I don't get it. My cat's staring at me like, why are you yelling? I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense.
What the fuck? I have Sports Center on in the background, and one of the top 10 plays was a guy dressed as a leprechaun putting a golf ball across the basketball court into a box.
Good for him.
What the fuck?
Way to go, Hornswoggle.
I guess. I don't even know. I was just watching it, and I was just confused.
Let's transition.
Yes.
Our last episode we spoke, the last thing we said was that if Mariano Rivera was not unanimous, we would have been annoyed. Well, they got it right.
Yep, not annoyed. Very
not
happy.
annoyed at all. Yeah, very happy. And I'll be honest, I was a little surprised. I didn't think they would put him in unanimous. I thought there would be that one clown who was like, nope, because Babe Ruth didn't go in unanimously. Nobody should. And first of all, whoever didn't vote for Babe Ruth back in the day, you're an idiot as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're dead by now, but you're an idiot.
You deserve to be dead.
Yeah, enjoy it 6 feet under, because the problem with the Hall of Fame voting is it's done by the writers, and they're biased. You have a bias. We saw Jim Rice should have been in way before he was elected, but it's because he was a jerk to the media, so people didn't vote for him. And then you have people who vote for their buddies. That's why J.T. Snow got a vote a couple years ago. Armando Benitez got a vote a couple of years ago. These guys don't even deserve to be on the ballot, but they got buddies in the media who go, hey, I voted for you. And the reason they do is there's this mentality of, well, he's going to get in anyway. What if everybody felt that way, though? And then the guy gets taken off the ballot? Because, look, Mariano Rivera is the greatest closer of all time. He's not the greatest baseball player of all time. There should be other people who were unanimous.
Yes.
Babe Ruth, Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, Ted Williams. These people should have been unanimous. Ty Cobb. Why would you not vote these people in? But this is the system we have, and I don't know. Is there a better way? I don't know what the better way would be, because the NFL, they go into a room and they don't even tell us what happens.
No.
They just come out and go, yep, these guys made it. The rest of them didn't.
The fact T.O. wasn't first ballot is still crazy to me.
I don't want to get into the whole conversation about first ballot, second ballot, third ballot, because it's a different conversation, and we can go on about that for you. But
yeah.
If Terrell Owens is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, do you know who is? Jerry Rice, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that is it. There is no other first ballot wide receiver if Terrell Owens is not one of them. And Randy Moss got in on the first ballot, as he should. But the fact that they made T.O. wait.
It's because the media doesn't like T.O.
And people, but I think it's not the writers in the NFL who vote. It's I think former players are involved. It's this whole committee. It's like the Illuminati. I have no idea what's going on in there.
The Freemasons.
Seriously. And they, for whatever reason, decided to make him wait. And in typical T.O. fashion, he said, I'm not going to Canton. I'm going to give my speech down at this school. And
he should have done it in his driveway, shirtless, doing sit-ups.
Doing sit-ups. I'd like to thank the 49ers.
You know how awesome that would have been?
The Eagles. It would have been great.
It would have been amazing.
But, so Mariano gets 100% of the ballot. Our guy Mike Messina gets in, which I was happy to see.
I was happy to see that too.
You look at these statistics. I'm going to say something that's not going to be popular. Mike Messina, the four that got in were Messina, Roy Halladay, who was unbelievable, and Edgar Martinez. Finally. I mean, what the hell were these people doing? Should have been in a decade ago.
Yeah.
But he's in. Along with Mariano. Let me ask you something. If Roy Halladay was still alive, do they vote him in on the first ballot?
Probably not.
I know that's not something that's popular to say, but there are things that are realities I think that you got to face. For example, if Marty St. Louis' mom doesn't pass away in 2014, the Rangers don't go to the Cup final.
Probably not.
They lose to the Penguins, probably the very next game. But that galvanized the team. They rallied around it and had an improbable run to the Stanley Cup final. If Roy Halladay is still alive, I don't know if he gets in on the first ballot. I know he was one of the best pitchers I've ever seen. 2-time Cy Young Award winner. There was a stretch of about 6-7 years where he was the best pitcher in baseball. And I'm not upset about him getting in at all. I'm not saying he shouldn't be in. I'm just kind of wondering if he were still alive, would they have made him wait? And I guess that's just to point out again that this system is dumb. Because if you're a Hall of Famer, I think you're a Hall of Famer. I think you should be put in. I think vote for the best players. Not, he was good, but not good enough to be first ballot. Because I think Fred McGriff should be in the Hall of Fame too. And this guy's getting no love. And he might even be off the ballot now. And it's unfortunate.
Could be.
But here's their numbers. Roy Halladay pitched for 16 years. Went 203 and 105, had a 3.38, struck out over 2,000 guys, and obviously won the 2 Cy Young Awards. Messina pitched for 18 years, won 270 games, lost 153, had a 3.68, struck out over 2,800 guys, and he had 5 All-Star appearances. Interesting note, he never made an All-Star team as a Yankee.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and you'd think he would have. There were a couple of years where he certainly was deserving, but the All-Star game is a little fluky from year to year. So he never made it, which was surprising to me. Edgar Martinez. You know what? I'll go with Martinez last because I got an extra note on him. Mariano Rivera, our guy, 19 years, 2.21, 652 saves, which is the most of all time. His postseason numbers, 8-1, an ERA of 0.70.
It's absurd.
And 141 innings pitched. He was the 99 World Series MVP and the 03 ALCS MVP. That was, of course, where he threw 3 shutout innings in Game 7 against Boston, which was one of the greatest performances you'd ever see. And the thing about Mo was his control was probably the best I've ever seen.
Yes.
He could dot the black with his moving cutter routinely. And he froze people and he broke bats. He was amazing. He was my favorite athlete of all time for most of his career. Aaron Rodgers has taken over that title in my life. But Mo's right there. I love Mo.
Me too.
Now, Edgar Martinez. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say that you can just show how dominant Mariano Rivera was when you look at the simple fact that less people scored on Mariano Rivera than people that walked on the fucking moon.
In the postseason.
Yep. The moon. More people have been on the moon than people who have scored a run on Mariano Rivera in the playoffs.
I don't know about you. I hang out on the moon every Thursday.
It's absurd.
It is kind of crazy.
I saw that. I was like, that's just craziness.
Yep. And that's never going to change because he's never going to pitch again, and I'm assuming more people will walk on the moon eventually.
Yeah.
So
I might go to the moon fucking summer vacation.
I think you think there'll ever be a time where the moon is a vacation spot?
I'll probably be dead. But
yeah, but I mean, Newt Gingrich wanted to colonize the moon.
Yeah.
He's a little crazy, but I'm just maybe in the future when Earth is, ending in 12 years according to some politicians, maybe the moon will be the spot.
Could be. Mars.
But
always an option.
Edgar Martinez. 18 years, 312, 309 home runs, over 2,200 hits, and on base of 418 for his career, which is insane.
Yeah.
But here's the cool thing about him. He was the only batter to go in this year. Went in with 3 pitchers. His career numbers against those pitchers. Against Messina, he batted .307 with 5 home runs and 83 plate appearances. Against Doc Holliday, he batted .444 with 1 home run, only 19 plate appearances. Against Mariano Rivera, against the best closer of all time, against the guy that we just waxed poetic about, .579 in 83 plate appearances.
That's absurd.
With 2 home runs. .579. He owned him.
He did.
Owned him. He was the one guy that Mariano could not get out to save his life.
That's crazy. I would never even think
that anybody would have those numbers.
No.
Unbelievable. It really is. I don't know if you've seen the Hall of Fame ballot for next year.
I haven't.
It's not a good one.
See if I can pull it up.
The question is, does Derek Jeter, 1, go in unanimously?
No.
And 2, does he go in by himself? Because there's not a lot going on there. Obviously, you're going to have the returning guys, the Kurt Schilling, who I think should be in, Clemens, who should be in, Bonds, who I think should be in, Larry Walker, who I think should get more consideration than he already has, Manny Ramirez, I think should be in, Jeff Kent, I think should be in, Billy Wagner, I think should be in, Todd Helton, I think should be in, Sammy Sosa, I think should be in, Andrew Jones, maybe. That's one you could have a conversation
Fucking
with.
Lyle Overbay's on here. Get the fuck out of here.
That's ridiculous. But the big names going in next year, Derek Jeter.
Yes.
First year on the ballot. But then everybody else is kind of like, eh. Bobby Abreu.
Possibly.
Jason Giambi.
Got the whole steroid thing with him, so he'll probably fall in the Bonds Clemens category.
Probably. Cliff Lee.
No,
Rafael Furcal. No. Eric
Josh Beckett,
Chavez.
maybe.
No.
I think Josh Beckett
maybe.
He has an outside shot.
I'll tell you the guy who I think should be looking at this, Paul Konerko. I think he's a Hall of Famer.
He stood out.
Yeah, Paul Konerko is a Hall of Famer.
Alfonso Soriano.
He's an interesting name.
He's a guy that could be borderline getting in, for sure.
Yeah. Knowing the way they vote, he'll definitely won't be in next year.
No, he won't be first ballot.
Down the line, I could see him possibly getting in.
Marco Scudero.
JJ Putz. JJ Putz. Kyle Farnsworth. Oh, these names.
Yeah, that the first ballot Hall of Famers on this list, not great.
No, not great whatsoever.
Could we see the chance of maybe Clemens or Bonds getting in next year, though?
Look, I think they should be in.
Yes.
Don't tell me that my era of baseball didn't exist. The Hall of Fame's job is to document the game. And whether you like it or not, steroids happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, Clemens is one of the best pitchers I've ever seen. Bonds is the best hitter I've ever seen.
Facts.
They should be in. And look, I may have kids someday, and if I take my son to the Hall of Fame, or my daughter to the Hall of Fame, and they say, Dad, where's the guy who won the most Cy Young awards? Oh, he's not in here. Where's the guy who hit the most home runs? He's not in here. Where's the guy who had the most hits? He's not in here. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yes.
I understand with Pete Rose it's different because he gambled, but I'll tell you this much. There are guys in there now who use steroids that we don't know.
100%.
And they're in there. If somebody was suspected, if somebody tested positive, if somebody testified, was called, whatever, just put it in their bio. Put it on the plaque that, hey, they were suspected of, they were tested positive or whatever. But the great players need to be in the Hall of Fame because they were great. Barry Bonds hit those home runs. Roger Clemens struck out those batters, won those World Series. Pete Rose got those hits. So I don't know if it's ever going to change, but something's got to be done.
Yeah. Give them their own separate wing or something like that.
The asterisk wing, something like that?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, I don't think they'd like that, but at least they'd be in.
I mean,
if you were to do that, I don't think you'd be having them make speeches about their acceptance into the Hall of Fame. I'll say that much. And maybe that's what it comes down to. Maybe that's what the writers and the Hall of Famers don't want. They don't want them having that day where they get up there with that jacket and give a speech.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think me personally, Barry Bonds, Hall of Famer in my mind.
I mean, they walked him every time up. And then when they
They'd
threw the
walk
ball,
him with the bases loaded.
Yeah. And then when they threw the ball anywhere remotely near the strike zone, he hit the ball 450 feet.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And I know he cheated to do it. Well,
it was absurd.
Cheated or used. Because at the time, it wasn't even cheating. There was no rule against it.
Yeah.
But it was amazing.
I don't think steroids really influences your hand-eye coordination.
No, you got to be able to hit. It's not like you and I could take steroids now and then tomorrow we go out and become the next great baseball player. It doesn't work that way.
No. You still have to have the skills.
Exactly. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's frustrating. It's a mess. But baseball's got nobody to blame but themselves.
Yeah. They let it happen. And then years later, they have a huge issue with it.
Of course. It's not going anywhere. We're going to be dealing with this forever.
Yes.
Because whenever a guy comes out now and plays great, people go, steroids, even though there's testing. People still get caught. People still get suspended. So
who was the guy that got, who was he?
Jerry's Familia? No, not Jerry's Familia.
No.
The other one in there. Henry.
Yes. Henry Mejia, right?
Henry Mejia, yes.
Yes. Fucking idiot.
Moron. Absolute moron. Oh.
I mean, you can look at players that took steroids and had nowhere close to this success. Jeremy Giambi.
He took?
Yes.
I didn't even know.
He was on that he was on the A-Rod list.
Oh.
Jeremy Giambi. Nowhere close to putting up numbers like Barry Bonds did or A-Rod ever did.
Speaking of guys who used, A-Rod obviously I think should be in. He's another one who I think should be in.
And I guarantee you he's not going to get in, which is a shame.
But they'll put David Ortiz in a heartbeat.
Yep.
Because they love him. Because he was a nice guy. He used. He tested positive. He was on that list. Along with Manny Ramirez. Along with A-Rod. The same list A-Rod was on, Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz were on. And it gets swept under the rug because everybody loves David Ortiz. I get it. He's a nice guy. He's a Packers fan. Cool. Cool with me. You used. And do I think he should be a Hall of Famer? Absolutely. He was an incredible hitter.
He was.
Incredible. There was nobody that I hated seeing at the plate more in a big situation.
Yeah. Because he always got the better of the Yankees in big situations.
2004. The Yankees are up 3-0. Walk-off home run for David Ortiz. Game 5. Or Game 4. Game 5, walk-off base hit for David Ortiz. And after those two walk-offs, I think everybody who was a Yankees fan looked around and went, uh-oh. This could be bad.
Yes.
And ultimately it was.
It was.
Bad memories. All right. But that's, you know what, that is what it is. The Hall of Fame. Happy for Mo. You'd probably have to book tickets now to get there for that.
It's going to be crazy.
Because it's going to be nuts. Let's move. Let's just to wrap this up, have a quick NBA chat because we're not getting into Machado Harper. We will not talk about it until they are signed. Anthony Davis has requested a trade.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Davis is a top 5 player in the NBA, if you ask me. And I see Knicks fans going nuts on social media. Go get him. What are you giving up?
I think Bleacher Report put out like a trade scenario for the Knicks to get Anthony Davis, and it's one of the most like ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life. It's basically the Melo trade times like 1 million.
The Melo trade was nuts.
Times it by 1 million.
I'm not saying it was a bad trade. I'm just saying there were a lot of moving parts to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up, and I'll tell you exactly what they wrote.
All right, I think that Anthony Davis to the Knicks. What the hell could the Knicks offer where the Pelicans go, oh hell yeah, that's what we want. bring that on down. And he's not a free agent for another 2 seasons. He's still got a full year next year.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you trade him early? Try to get him to stay. You could try to convince him to stay.
I think the whole them blowing up the DeMarcus Cousins thing they had going with him and AD, I think that really rubbed them the wrong way.
Yeah, unfortunately, Cousins with that injury, that sucked because that could have been fun. But now DeMarcus Cousins is in Golden State, so they'll win the championship this year, no problem.
Yeah. Signed for what, $1 million, too?
He signed for nothing. He wants a ring. I mean, hey, we always complain about athletes making this big money, and then when a guy takes less to win a championship, we go, he's ring chasing. You can't win. They can't win. But everybody seems to think he's going to end up in L.A. with LeBron.
Which wouldn't shock me.
It wouldn't shock me, but also if you're giving up half your roster to get this guy, does it make you that much better? I know he's phenomenal, but if you're giving up Kuzma, if you're giving up Ball, if you're giving up Ingram, now it's just LeBron and AD.
Yeah.
Remember how Cleveland looked whenever LeBron came off the court?
Horrible.
Yeah. That's kind of what it would remind me of.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you get that Bleacher Report thing?
I can't find it. But I know somewhere along the lines of the Knicks giving up a protected first-round pick, Kevin Knox, Frank Ntilikina.
Ntilikina?
Yeah, whatever the hell his last name is. Frank the Tank. But
he's anything but a tank.
He'll be good. I have faith in Frank. But him, Kevin Knox, I think Courtney Lee, Enes Kanter, and I think another pick. It was something like absurd. It's basically you're gutting the whole roster.
But there was nothing there that, if I'm the GM of the Pelicans, that makes me go, yay. I mean, Kevin Knox is a nice piece.
I honestly think Frank's going to be a good piece. I think he still has a lot of developing to do, but I think he has the potential to be a good player in the league.
You have more faith in him than I do, because I don't think really anything of Frank Ntilikina. I think of him as Phil Jackson's parting gift.
Yeah, fuck Phil Jackson.
He shouldn't have been allowed to make that pick, because they fired him like a week later. And he picked Ntilikina based on the fact that he felt Ntilikina would fit good in the triangle.
It's true.
Great. All right, we can wrap this up.
Well, I got one thing I want to touch on.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So, breaking news. The Nevada State Athletic Commission has come down with suspensions for Khabib Nurmagomedov and Conor McGregor
from their brawl,
from their scuffle after their fight back in, I don't even know when they fought, October, I think.
Yeah, right? It was around then, October, November, something like that.
So it's retroactive to the date of their fight. Khabib got suspended 9 months and got fined, I believe it was $200K that I saw. And McGregor is now facing 6 months suspension and a $50K fine.
Yikes.
Yeah.
When that happened,
that whole thing was
insane.
Crazy.
I was out with my girlfriend, and we got there early, man. We got to this bar around like 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And so nobody else was there, and we just sat there and we were just eating and drinking the whole night.
Yes.
And
watched $500K. He got fined. Khabib.
It was October. It was October. Because I remember we were watching Game 2 of the ALDS.
Mm-hmm.
Yankees Sox.
Yes.
And that was the one game the Yankees won. So I watched that. I'm happy. Now the fights are starting. But it gets late, and I actually was scheduled to go to work the next day. Those who don't know, I go into work at like 4:30 a.m. I had to be in at 4:30 the next morning. So I knew I'd be tired, but I didn't care. I wanted to watch the fights. That fight didn't end until after midnight, like around then. So the fight ends, Connor tapped, I believe is how it ended.
Yes.
And I tap my girlfriend on the shoulder. I'm like, yo, let's get out of here. Let's go right now. So I didn't want the parking lot to be packed. So we get up and we're shuffling through the crowd of people walking. And as we're walking out, I look up at a TV and I just go, what the hell is going on? There's people fighting in the crowd. Somebody jumps into the octagon and just takes a swing at McGregor from behind him. I'm like, what in God's name happened?
It was fucking pandemonium.
It was nuts.
I was at Buffalo Wild Wings sitting there with my girlfriend and her friend. And I'm like, fuck. I kind of knew McGregor was going to lose. I thought it would have been a better fight.
He didn't stay on his feet enough. I mean,
no, he couldn't.
No, he could. You're right.
He couldn't.
Khabib just imposed his will all over that fight.
Yeah, but I mean, I was just watching it. And I see Khabib just jump out of the octagon. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And then just fucking chaos.
Yeah, that was nuts.
It
was
was
one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Unreal. But yeah, so those suspensions came down today. McGregor can return to the octagon in April, and Khabib can come back in July. So
well, McGregor, can he, if he wanted to, can he have a boxing match in that time?
I guess so. I just probably not in Nevada.
Right. All right. I mean, he's gonna find a way to make his money. He always does.
I mean, he's got his whiskey company. He's good. He doesn't even probably have to fight anymore.
Probably not.
Guy got like a $200 million yacht or something like that. I saw it on his Instagram.
That's insane. Do you think he's gonna fight again? I think he wants to.
He will.
All right.
There's been rumors about him and Khabib fighting possibly again.
I think that's a really bad matchup for him.
It is, because if he can't stop Khabib's takedowns, it's going to be the same thing every time.
Yeah.
And Khabib knows that. Everybody in the UFC knows that.
But Khabib's a problem.
I think if he fights somebody that has the wrestling skills that he has, he's going to have an issue.
I'd love to see that match.
He hasn't had it though. I don't even know anybody, like especially in the lightweight division, that can even compete with him.
It's
There's no one out there really. The Tony Ferguson match is the one that everyone's been waiting on, because that's supposed to happen like 3 times already, and it just keeps getting put off. But
that stinks. Is as far as the heavyweights go, is John Jones and Cormier gonna fight again?
I think so. When, I don't know, but I think it's gonna happen.
I mean, the longer it goes, the less compelling it becomes to me, because Cormier ain't getting any younger.
No. I don't even know when Cormier is supposed to fight again. Because, I mean, Jones just came off his fight against Gustafsson 2 months ago, end of December.
Yep.
So a month ago.
And I mean, you and I know how you feel about John Jones. I don't think that there's many that can even compete with him.
No.
And he's an idiot for the things he's done, and his career's always going to be
outside of the octagon, he is as stupid as they come.
But
irresponsible, he's a moron. But inside that octagon, he's unreal.
I mean, I know you liked the tweet that after that fight, I put that simply based on talent, he could have been the best fighter ever.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, his career's always going to be tainted.
Oh, always, because he's an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many times you want to get a slap on the wrist, but I mean, it's crazy.
It's a shame. It really is. And the one loss on his resume was that stupid 12-6 elbow.
The disqualification against Mark Hamill. Was it Mark Hamill? Matt Hamill. Mark Hamill's the guy from Star Wars. Matt Hamill, the guy that was deaf. He didn't go in the octagon and beat the shit out of Luke Skywalker. That's my mistake. Matt Hamill.
That's a fight. He might give John Jones some trouble.
He might
use the Force.
I don't think John Jones would have the answer for the Force.
Probably not.
No.
On that note, Mike, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Mikey_DubsNY, and also on Instagram at Mike_Wimmers, WIMMERS. And also you can find me on my website, nottheworstblog.com, where we talk about sports and all other nonsense that's going on throughout the world.
The podcast is also uploaded to that website as well, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Yep, so you can find us there. You can find me on Twitter at JJPix13. You You can find me on Instagram at John Picarello. And you pretty much get what you hear here is what you get. Okay?
Yes.
This is what we do. We're sports fans. Not much changes throughout the day. This is what we do. Like after this, I'm jumping on Xbox till I got to go to class tonight. That's what I'm doing.
I gotta grab my laundry and then I have work at 3.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Nah.
All right. Well, next time we talk to you, we will have a new Super Bowl champion.
Yes, we will.
And maybe some big time free agents will have new homes.
I don't know if my mic's picking up the demonic sounds.